Hello everybody. Today we are on World at War with Zombies on the first ever COD Zombies map, Nacht or Untoten, starting a brand new series, the Revisiting Blank in 2024. I want to play through every COD Zombies map in order, so obviously that's why we're starting at Nacht, and basically just do regular playthroughs of them, fully kind of immerse myself in it, not doing a challenge, just playing the map the way it was meant to be played and going through all of them. And I think it's going to be really fun. I think it's going to be a really fun journey, and obviously you have to start the journey with the beginning, right? Nacht is the beginning. Now, we played a lot of Nacht lately. I'm a little bit knocked out, I feel like. But this is where we have to start. There's no other starting place. I mean, would you rather me start at Origins? I don't think so. All right, we're not starting. Look, we're not going chronological up in here. We're going by release date. This baby came out in 2008, and we're gonna get to play it 2 more times. Aren't you guys excited for whenever we get to Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 3? Wahoo! But no, Nacht is obviously, like, it deserves the amount of respect, right? Like, does it hold up to modern standards? I don't know. I'm not sure. I would say so. But is it, like, just the foundation of zombies? Is it the beginning of the storyline because a random zombie sounds like it yelling Sam? Yes, it is. So we will try to give it the respect it deserves while giving it fair criticisms and just enjoying it, trying to enjoy it as best we can. Now, ideally in this series, I want to go to around 30 on every map, but I'm going to give myself some leeway on the World at War maps, and I'm only going to ask myself to go to around 15 on them because we don't have the use of Quick Revive and we don't have any perks, at least for Nacht. Nacht is by far going to be the hardest one, although I think Verrückt is going to end up being quite the challenge even with perks, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's focus on Nacht. We have no perks, so it means 2 hit down, and that's it. If we take 2 hits back to back, or within a 3-4 second period, that's game over. Obviously, we need a strategy, you know. Well, hold on. Before we start talking about strategy, I gotta do the boring YouTube stuff. Guys, if you could, please like, comment, subscribe. It really does mean the world to me. I read each and every single comment. And that's the best way to support the channel, is by leaving a like and leaving a comment. Just letting me know you're enjoying the video, you're excited for this series, or asking a question, anything like that. I do read each and every single one. But with that said, in terms of a strategy, like, I feel like you have one of 2 ways you can go on Nacht, right? You either, like, get the ray gun and the Tommy gun and you try to train and you just hope that you're one of the best to have ever done it, or alternatively you get 2 LMGs, I don't even know if there are 2 LMGs, and you camp right up here. And that's probably the strategy we're going to go, but we have to get the LMG first, which means we're going to be kind of locked into the Tommy gun, because I'm definitely buying the Tommy gun. The Tommy gun at the beginning is a bit too good of a gun, and it ensures you get the points to spin the box, and we'll basically be training until we're able to camp, and if we run out of ammo and an LMG or something, then we'll go back to camping, right? A little bit of fun fact about Nacht or Untoten, if you guys don't know, Zombies wasn't originally meant to be played the way it is played now. It was meant to be more of a tower defense type thing, where the players would just keep the zombies out of the barriers, and basically if they got inside the barriers, it was probably going to be game over. So it worked best with having 4 people. You'd preferably play it co-op, which is why in all of World at War, Quick Revive isn't really a thing, because they didn't expect a lot of people to be playing it solo. They figured solo would be almost impossible. I think that, like, even in Call of the Dead, whenever it came out, the players never, the devs didn't think most people would be making it to around 50, because there's a voice line of, like, the character calling you, the Buffy the Vampire Slayer actor, like saying someone's cheating if you make it to around 50, which is funny, because obviously people at that point had made it to, you know, really high rounds. Not Syndicate, of course, but other people. Look, I don't know enough about the situation. All I know is I'm pretty sure it's confirmed he's cheated, but I don't know what record's on or anything. I try to stay out of it. I don't want to dip my toes too far in that one. But yeah. So we're not going to be able to probably get a super high round or anything like that, and because I don't want to stress about getting a high round. I just want to be able to enjoy it with you guys. It's not my first attempt. I've taken many a downs because, well, it's kind of like if you make one mistake past round 10, you're probably going to take a down for it, and, well, in this game that means it's game over. But we're going to go ahead and buy this nice early Thompson, and we're just going to keep the gears moving, keep it grinding. I will say, in one of my attempts, I won't talk about previous attempts too much because there's nothing really exciting from them besides information I gleaned, but at one point music did just randomly start playing. You know what it might have been? Maybe I exploded all the barrels and didn't realize it, because I think there's a musical Easter egg if you do that. But it was really funny. I thought I heard it again there for a second. I feel like I'm losing my mind. But it was really funny because it sounded like the sound was coming from one exact place, but you couldn't tell where. Yeah, it was the craziest thing. Anyways, it doesn't matter because it's not this attempt. Sorry for teasing you there, because I suppose you'll never know, will you now? You're going to have to live with that. You know, you're going to have to live with never knowing what I'm talking about if the music doesn't play again. How does that feel? I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh god, it's already what, 5 minutes in, I'm losing it. Oh, this is gonna be a fun one. But yeah, right now we're just gonna keep running on through with the Tommy gun. I don't want to. There's so many things I want to talk about, but I don't want to stray too far off of zombies quite yet. So I'm trying to think of like what else I know about this map. I mentioned the Sam thing. I mentioned that this was supposed to be played as tower defense, but all in all, man, like Nacht's pretty basic. Now it is in most of the zombies games. Fun fact, you know, it got remade in Black Ops 1, and we'll be visiting it there. It got remade in Black Ops 3, and we'll be visiting it there. It's technically in Black Ops 2 because of what's the word? Because of transit, it has Nacht or Untoten in the cornfield, and then Die Machine is basically a remake of Transit, and I think or not a remake of Transit, it's a remake of the Nacht or Untoten, obviously, Die Machine is. It's expanded upon, right? It's the difference between a remake versus remaster. Remake means you're taking like creative liberties with it, remaster means you're trying to keep it mostly true to the original sense. I think that's the difference. We can start hitting the box luckily here. I don't know if Black Ops 4 has it, so Cold War does, Black Ops 2 does, Black Ops 3 does, and obviously World at War does. Black Ops, I think I said Black Ops 1. I don't want that. What else we got? Is there one in Black Ops? I'm trying to think. I don't know. I know in Cold War you also have like the Der Eisendrock Easter egg where you're kind of teleported to part of it, but not really at the same time. And I feel like it has that for Nacht as well, but I could be entirely incorrect. And then, I mean, Cold War is the most recent Treyarch game. Dude, that's another thing. That's the reason why I want to do this series now, is at the beginning of the year, for one. But also, I don't know when we'll finish it. We might finish it in summer. It depends how quickly I want to go through them and what games I do. But look, I'd be fine with finishing it in a month. If I just I'm like, oh, you know, I don't want to do any challenges. Let's just play through every zombies map. I don't mind uploading it back to back to back to back. We'll see how she goes. I have no plans. Maybe it'll only be once every 3 or 4 uploads. Maybe it'll be completely random how it ends up showing up. But I would like to get through all of them before Treyarch's new game comes out, just so we can have a kind of a way to look back at it, even if it's like looking back from January, but looking back to if we're in like October, November, whenever the new Call of Duty game launches, Treyarch's game, right, and we are looking to January, I suppose we'd be looking back to January. So if in the future we're looking back to January, I still feel like that's fresh enough for us to be able to like draw comparisons and be able to give like an educated like criticism of the game, because I do plan to look. I've actually been considering a new style of content, and I wonder what you guys think of it. In school, I was a decently good essayist, especially in college. I would frequently write really long essays, and I've always been into the idea of like writing up basically some essays on Call of Duty, making videos around those. Not really long ones, but like, you know, 20-30 minute videos talking about like certain parts of Call of Duty Zombies that I like and I don't like. And for a while I always felt like, oh, you know, what do I know about COD Zombies? But nowadays I think I know a decent bit about at least older COD Zombies, not so much newer ones, but I feel like I have enough to give educated opinions, and as long as I'm always open to being incorrect, then I don't see an issue with it. So we might end up getting to the point at some point this year where we'll talk about this in a second. The point at some point this year where I'm having some videos that aren't necessarily gameplay focused, but are more just like opinion pieces, I suppose, where I talk about Call of Duty Zombies, maybe the future of it, and maybe I doom post, maybe like, this is why Call of Duty Zombies will end up be a 20-minute video of me explaining some recent downtrends. But if it's clickbait, I would hope I could at least keep the clickbait semi-true to the video, because I think that is kind of how you have to market like video game essays, right? Is like, you have to basically clickbait it. It's the only way you get people to read it. But if I'm talking about, you know, what could be that? I'm talking about how cool the wonder weapons are, and I title it "This is why Call of Duty Zombies will end." And then maybe give me some flack in the comments for that one. I don't know if that's necessarily relevant. But yeah. I think it would be fun to do some of that. My main thing, it's funny because I think it's the opposite of how maybe a lot of people go about doing it. I would be really excited to write really long essays about my thoughts on Call of Duty Zombies, because to me writing isn't too different from talking. I try to talk with decent, you know, syntax, and obviously I don't a lot of the time, but with writing, you're able to go back and revise, etc., etc. And it's a process I really enjoy. I really enjoy writing, but man, I would not not be excited to like edit those videos and capture the footage and B-rolls and try to figure out like what mental imagery goes along with my words. I think that's the part I would really struggle with. Not so much the verbal content, but the visual aspect of it. So we'll have to see if it ever comes to fruition. Let's talk about the ray gun and why I really don't want this gun. For one, ADHD brain go burr, and it's going to be all I end up using. We're actually probably not going to keep it. I don't know. I want to, but we're screwing ourselves over with it for one, because we're not getting enough points. It is nice to be able to get ourselves out of a sticky situation, but it does mean we're just rolling the box slower, but I guess I could live with that. But look, like I said, we're probably not going to go around training, because I'll be honest, I'm not good enough to run around training and trying to survive. I need the LMG. I won't lie, there have been runs where I've had the ray gun and I tried training and I died. There have been runs where I've had the LMG and I've tried camping and I've died. I don't think you're an LMG. In fact, I'm quite certain you're not. But we'll stick with it for now. We'll see what we can do. We'll hold we'll hold it just to, you know, just to say we have it. Look, it is the World at War ray gun. We might as well use it a little bit. I don't want to like try hard to the point we're not having fun, but I also don't want to just die on round 13 again, because I seem to never be able to make it past round 13, and I'm not having the most fun at this point. I won't lie. I'm very, like, literally, that's why I decided to go ahead and do Nacht before my next video that I plan, is because I really just want to get Nacht out of the way, because I'm so excited for this series. Like, you guys have no idea, and I'm so unexcited about Nacht. Like, I just am not here to mess with Nacht whatsoever. I do need to figure out whenever I swap weapons if I'm going to be swapping out the Thompson or the ray gun, and I think I'm going to swap out the Thompson because I can ray buy it, and the ray gun is the ray gun. It's pretty cool. I like the ray gun. We've been using the ray gun a lot lately, actually. Normally I'm always like, ooh, we don't get to use the ray gun too much, but lately we've actually been using it a lot, so I want to go easy with how much I use it. But yeah, that's the general idea of what we're doing. Oh, back to the essay thing of it. Yeah, I might end up doing some of those before Cold War, but I at least, or before whatever the new game is, but I at least, whenever the new game is, I want to put out some opinion pieces. Because like all the zombie content creators do it. All the zombie content creators just put on, you know, random background footage while they talk about their thoughts on the game. And I'll either just talk about my thoughts on the game, or I'll just write an essay thing about what I want to say and script it, right? It'll be one of the two. But that's generally what I'm thinking, is something along those lines whenever the new game comes out. And so I think that having this series and having all of the zombie maps pretty fresh on my head will give me not a unique perspective, because I think all of the zombies creators have played through all of the maps, right? But more a recently refurbished memory, a memory that's a bit more fresh than the others, maybe, who's able to draw on certain aspects of the older maps, and hopefully can give my content and my thoughts not necessarily an advantage, but I want to make sure that I am not incorrect. I'm able to draw on as many resources as possible. Knowledge is a resource, and I'm trying to make sure that I have the knowledge for that. Plus, I just want to play through the maps, man. I just love playing through these old maps. But with all of that said, I say we've talked a decent bit about COD Zombies. Boys, how are we feeling about Diablo 4 Season 3? I know 3 of you just raised your hands and are like, I really like it, and about 20 of you said I hate it, and the other, 1,000 of you were like, I never played that game a day in my life. Why is he talking to me about Diablo in a Call of Duty Zombies video? That's just the way it be sometimes, boys. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about Diablo 4 too much in terms of like the gameplay or anything, more so about how people are responding to it, because I think that's the interesting part. Because I like Diablo 4. I'll hate on Diablo 4. I think it could be a much better game, but generally speaking, I do like the game. But man, it's so funny because, let me give you guys a brief right now so you can kind of understand what I'm talking about, okay? Diablo 4 comes out. Diablo 4... okay, but I'm going to have to give you guys a little bit of history here, okay? We'll put it this way. Diablo 2, very good game that a lot of people like. I never played it, but very good game that a lot of people like. Then, there's a game called PoE, Path of Exile, that came out a pretty long time ago now. And Path of Exile basically is like a spiritual successor to Diablo 2. Okay, people really like Path of Exile. Diablo 3 is also a game. Diablo 3, in a way, is the opposite of Diablo 2. Diablo 2 is very grindy. There's things that you work towards for a very long time, and you kind of have delayed dopamine. You got to work towards it. Diablo 3 just gives it to you. If you want it, just press the dopamine button, and you'll get it. All right, and a lot of people like that, and a lot of people don't like that. All right, Diablo 4 is an attempt to go back to kind of that Diablo 2 kind of level of difficulty and level of grind, and so its closest comparison now is to Path of Exile. Okay, if you like the genre that Diablo 4 is, you like Path of Exile, generally speaking. That's how it is for most people. Or you like Diablo 3, I guess. You can split it into one of those two camps. You either like Path of Exile or you like Diablo 3. There's other games like Last Epoch and stuff. I think if you like Last Epoch, you still fall into one of these camps, right? So, Diablo 4 comes out, and basically people are saying it's not good at being a successor to Diablo 2. It's not good at all. The items aren't rewarding enough, etc., etc. And it's too much of a grind with too much tedious, boring stuff for the Diablo 3 people to enjoy it. So really, it's impossible for it to find its target audience, that the seasons have been lackluster, that the developers only made this game as a cash grab, and all of these things. And I don't necessarily believe that the developers only made it for a cash grab. I do naturally distrust Blizzard, just in general. I don't like Activision Blizzard, and I understand that they're the big daddy who owns Call of Duty as well, but I just flat out don't. I think they are a very greedy company, but I do think the individual developers behind it are decent people who probably want to put out the best game they can, right? So that's my thoughts. But with all that backstory, now you gotta know we just entered season 3, okay? So we're coming off of season 1 being an absolute letdown, and then a lot of people really liked season 2. Season 3, people are very much not enjoying so far. In many ways, it does seem to objectively be a step backwards. Oh, double points. Not too often that happens. It seems to be an objective step back, right? Let's see what we get right quick. That's an MP40. I don't mind the MP40, but not quite what we're going for here. So, people say objective step back, yada yada. And that's not so much what I care about. What I care about is just the absurd amount of hate going towards the game. It's not that I care personally as much as I find it funny. I find it really funny because, and here's what the point I wanted to get to, basically the day before the season came out, right, on the Diablo 4 subreddit, whenever there's not that many people who are there who didn't play in season 2. So people who played in season 2 generally enjoy the game, and the subreddit is a pretty docile, tame environment during season 2, especially the later half. At the beginning of every season, basically, there's a lot of people who complain. And the way that I put it is that it's the person who types up a Reddit post saying like, hey guys, I played the first week that Diablo 4 came out preseason, and I put in 180 hours. Oh, I might be dead here. And I put in 180 hours. I hated every second of it. Well, I like season 3, and the answer is probably not. If you hated every second of your 180 hours, then you're probably not going to like the game very much. And so the Diablo 4 people were all joking about that, saying that like, oh yeah, everyone's going to come back out of the woodworks and be miserable. And lo and behold, all that you see on the Diablo 4 subreddit, and like there's some valid people in there who have like justified complaints who played in season 2 and everything, but it's mostly just people who are coming back to the game after not playing it like for basically all of season 1, all of season 2, etc., and just hate it. Just hate the game with every fiber of their being. And it's really funny because you can really tell the difference if you go to like what the posts were like, even during like the middle of season 1, once like you get all the people who just don't like the game to stop like hyper focusing on the game, it's really funny how much the toxicity goes down. But it really is just the vibe of like, I hated this game whenever I played and I hated every second of it. Do you think I'm gonna like it now? And then whenever they try it and they still don't like it, because guess what? It is still the same game, unsurprisingly. There is an item rework coming, which should be a pretty big deal and be pretty exciting to some people. But it's like, yeah, I don't know why these people are thinking that it's going to be like the most transformative experience of their lives. Like, you didn't like it the first time around, man. You're probably not going to like it the 28th time around. If we're just being completely honest with each other, that's a sniper. I don't care too much for that. I really don't want to go down here. I just needed to get that ammo. The reason I don't want to kill them all with a ray gun, and by the way, they are so loud, dude. World at War, like, the way the zombies are is just so insanely loud. The sound effects are insane, though. Nothing will beat, like, the ambiance and, like, desperation feeling from it. And I know I talked about getting points when I grabbed the insta-kill, but honestly, I was just getting tired of the noise. Like, that noise was getting absurd. Dude, please give me an LMG. I'm begging. I'm on my hands and knees again. We're on the dreaded round 13, by the way. Part of me is like, if I just make it past round 13, I'm so down to call it. There are only 24 zombies per round, I'm pretty sure. So, like, the World at War rounds, they start off really slow, but they end up going a lot faster. But I just want the LMG game. Just work with me. Just work with me just a little bit. But yeah, there only should be one wave. So, like, if hypothetically we can just train them all together, we should be able to kill like the entire round at once, right? It's just a matter of not getting trapped, not playing poorly, etc., running a decent train, all that stuff. But yeah, this was about Diablo 4. It's crazy just seeing like all the hate from people who like don't even like the game, who are just like, for one, they talk like they're experts. They're like, I played yada yada, and it's like, okay, bro, like maybe you did play and you just weren't active in the community whatsoever. But like, all I'm saying is, if I go through your Reddit profile, I see posts from the first week the game was out saying how much you hated it, and then I see a post from the beginning of season 1 saying how much you hated it, and I see a post from the beginning of season 3 saying how much you hate it. It's like, I don't know what he expected, man. And like, it's not just one guy. It's insane how many of them there are. Because look, like I said, I think Diablo 4 has a lot to improve on. I think it has a lot to work on. I think it is in a pretty rough state the way it is in right now. Oh my gosh, that zombie was dying, but I was able to squeeze my way through. But like, it's just insane seeing the amount of hate it gets. It's so funny, man. It's so funny. Like, even the popular streamers and stuff, like the way they talk about it. Well, it's funny. I won't drop any streamer names, but you can tell some of them are very inconsistent in their views. It basically just goes off whatever vibe the chat is. Like, if, at the beginning, like if the chat is optimistic, they'll be like, guys, this is good. I enjoy this. And then they'll be like, oh, I hate this, if the chat's like making fun of them for liking the game. But then if the chat starts making fun of them for agreeing with them, then they'll go back to being like, no, guys, I always said I liked it. It's like, dude, we can tell you're just kind of trying to go with what the chat says while not being offensive enough to lose your Diablo 4 partnership. It's okay, man. You can just say that. It's so funny the way like they teeter on the line, just like refusing to say either I like it or I don't. Like, I get because of the sponsorship, maybe you can't say you don't like it, but then why do you say you don't like it? If you can't just say it, why do you just swap back and forth? Just pick one, man. Like, I get if you change your mind, but you're not changing your mind every 20 minutes, right? It's insane to me. That's my little fun Diablo 4 rant. I don't know, what else has been going on, man? I don't know, dude. It's Nacht. I'm happy we made it past round 13. I think this is it. I think this is the attempt, boys. I don't know how it's going to go from here, but I don't know how much more I can do this. Like, I've played way too much Nacht for one day. I honestly, like, part of me thinks, like, maybe I should just keep training. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? No, that's it. I'm done. I'm done. I get hung up on that. I don't even know what clipped me. No, I'm done. I'm done. Smiley face. Good start to this series. Nacht, I hate you and I forever will, but I respect you. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, which I hope you did, please like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. But yeah, have a good night, everybody, and take it easy.